Okay, you guys, welcome to the step 2 of the figure drawing. Now, what I'm doing is, because we're limited on time as usual, I only got a few minutes to do this stuff, so I'm trying to do a whole figure drawing for you guys. But we started off with a simple block in, right? And then what I did was I went ahead and did this section of the drawing, right? Right here. Now, what I did was I just put in a flat pattern for the shadow shape, right? And then I stuck with two edges, sharp and soft, okay? That's basically all that I did, and I went through and I made the drawing more specific with my articulation, right? Which you guys can do when you have time. You can see right here, like where the deltoid is. Instead of having just one long trajectory line, right, that we talked about before, if you look at the other video, you'll see the simple shape that I started with. And then I went back and made it a little more specific, designed the shadow shape, and put in a flat tone, right? So I put the values right here for you guys, okay? You got the light and you got the shadow. All you need is two values, okay? The paper is going to be our average for now, and this right here is on a scale of 1 to 9 is about a 7, okay? So I'm going to jump right into it. Now what I'm going to do is, I did this top part, okay, just to give you guys an example, and then now I'm going to do this bottom part here, okay? The same as I did up top. That way you guys can see it, and then you can practice it on your own, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I have some charcoal dust here, and I have a blending stump. You can use whatever, you can use anything you have, a paper towel. You could hatch it in like I did with a pencil. However you want to put it in. The main thing is that what you want to do is you want to find the, some people call it a terminator or a bed bug line, right? Which is going to be this line right here. It's going to separate our light and shadow, okay? Once you find that, make sure it wraps the form. All you have to do is, I'm just going to scrub this in. And what I want to do is, I want to try to maintain the value. I want one flat value, okay, in the shadow. I don't want a bunch of, I don't want, 3s and 7s and 9s. If you were to number all the values, you just want one value in the shadow. Just this right here. It's about a 6 or a 7 if you were to number it. Some people number them, some people don't. But the way I was trained, you number them and then you learn them. And then over time, it becomes intuitive and you don't have to think about it so much. So be careful also. Let me grab a piece of paper. While you're working, you can put something down. Usually I'm up on an easel, but because we're doing the videos, I got to film it flat like this. So, okay, I'm just going to fill this in flat right now. One of the most important things, you guys, to remember is that, none of the drawings are going to be perfect, okay? So you really just have to focus on the principles and do the best you can, okay? Each drawing will get a little bit better as you do it and as you practice, right? If you watch these videos, they're going to be on here. You can keep going back to them and checking them out. Now, what I'll do sometimes is I will mark. Let me knock this down because it's got some graphite from the block in. I'm going to knock this down a little bit. If you have graphite from the block in, just knock it down because the charcoal won't stick as well to the graphite. So right in here, I'm just going to take a charcoal pencil and I'm going to mark the gluteal fold in here, because this right here, I'm thinking ahead. If you guys ever play chess, I'm thinking a step ahead. Later on, I'm going to use this charcoal pencil when we get into modeling and stuff in the occlusion, which is the darkest point of the shadow. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it in there now. It's going to hold that together, and shouldn't be an issue. So just remember, your focus is one flat tone. And try to take your time with it. You guys will be able to go much slower than I will. But that's why I did a section of it, because I know it takes a while to do it. So like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bristle brush and I'm going to put an edge on it. All I want is two edges, right? Sharp and soft. This is a turning form, right, where her glutes are. So that's going to be a soft edge. Okay, so just remember that when you're drawing at the beginning like this, two edges. So I'm just going to make it best I can. Just gonna kind of. That's pretty good. Like I said, you guys can spend more time on it, make it real nice. And I am going to just kind of let this edge go a little bit softer. And then down there, it's going to pick back up. Also, what I've done is I take a charcoal pencil and I've articulated the contour here, right? So that's something you could do as well. And the shadow goes all the way down. Now, what I've done also is I've thought about a focal point for this drawing, okay? The focal point is going to be the torso. So I'm not going all the way down the legs and all that. All I want to do right now is, especially for, I want to try to get this section done for you guys here. The pressure's on. It's much nicer when you can just work at your own pace. You don't have to worry about time frame. But that's okay. Flat tone, just discipline yourself, okay? What happens is, I'm going to try, talking and drawing is not the easiest thing to do, but what happens is we get greedy for the realism too fast, okay? And therefore we end up moving out of the order of operations for the drawing, right? Especially when you're learning and you're trying to figure all this stuff out. Just stick to the process, right? It's going to get you where you want to go much faster if you could do that. All right. Now this right here, this is that bed bug line I was talking about. Right there. A little more here. Once you guys see me do this section, then you can make sure you lick your lips when you blow on your paper. A lot of times you can spit on it on accident. That happens sometimes. That looks pretty good. I may try to get this edge a little bit softer with the brush. Soften that edge. Same with that. Two values, two edges, right? And this edge, so we have a soft here, and then right here we have the sharp. Alright, so that's why I put that charcoal pencil in there, because I know when we move forward with the drawing that that will be fine. Now, well, I'm going to think a little bit about the background. It looks a little bit lighter there. I'm going to push it a tiny bit further. Just like that. And then what I'm going to do is, what I did with the top in here, is I just came through with the charcoal pencil to try to articulate some of the contour, right? Kind of like that. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy, but I like to do that. Right. So our focal point. And then I leave that sharp because we're going to be modeling all inside of there after a little while. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. Okay, we'll go ahead and I'll do this one section here. Remember, just keep it a flat tone with two edges. The edge is going to be sharp and soft. Okay, this right in here. Just going to go ahead and push that a little bit. Right here we have an overlap. So I'm making these a little darker so you guys can see them. Watch for the overlaps. We call them T overlaps, basically just where one form overlaps another form. and that's what's happening there. And then this here, we'll just kind of hatch that in real quick like that. That's all shadow. We don't have to do a lot down here. I'm going to just leave that pretty much like that, I think, because that's not my focal point. A little bit soft. Okay, I think that looks pretty good, you guys. Let me push this a little bit more. I think it'll be easier for you guys to see it. It's difficult to get things to translate well over the camera, but I'm doing the best I can. Kind of give you guys a good example of things, right? So, push that a little bit more here. Try to make sure we can get that edge nice and soft. And like I said, you can use a paper towel. Do whatever it takes to get it soft. Make a transition. At this stage here, it doesn't have to be. So this right here is the cast shadow. That's going to be sharp, right? And then this down here will end up being soft because it's turning form, right? So keep that in mind. Soften it a little bit there. You could be darker. All right, that looks pretty good. Hopefully you guys practice this, right? And so this, I'm just making that a little bit softer just to give it a little variety on the contour. I think we're about out of time. I gotta scoot. Okay, clean some of this up a little bit. Spend more time, make your edges a little bit softer. Try to keep the values simple for now in the shadows, right? Try to keep them, I'm just gonna mark a little location here. Try to keep those values as simple as you can. And on the next video, I'll show you guys the modeling and stuff, okay? And that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so I'll do the same thing. I'll model a section and then we'll come back, okay? And I'll show you more. All right, hopefully you guys liked the video, and let me know, and I'll finish the drawing if you guys like it. And remember, keep practicing, all right? I'll see you next time.